my name is James Thorpe and I'm the Managing Editor of the Security Division at Centurian Media. I'm delighted to be here today on the Genetec stand speaking with Nicholas Smith, Regional Sales Director for UK and Ireland during the Security Event 2026. Enjoy. Nick, thank you so much for joining me today. Obviously we're catching up here at TSE. If you just start by telling our viewers a little bit about yourself, really, and what your role is at Genetec, please.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, James. So my name's Nick Smith. I am the Regional Sales Director for the UK and Ireland for Genetec. I've been with the business 9 years, seen the business change in the UK quite a lot in those 9 years. I've held various roles within the business as well. So got a good insight of both the industry and also the evolution of Genetec.
Fantastic. And when we look at the industry in general, if we're looking at the physical security space in particular, in your time with the business and just more broadly, how have you seen that evolve specifically in the physical realm?
It's changed quite a lot. I've been in the industry for 30 years now, so obviously we know that that's changed quite dramatically over that time, from analog to digital to IP. The last 5 years has been interesting. COVID came. That probably changed certainly how our end users view physical security in general, right? I mean, it went from being a cost center, which, let's be honest, was probably a bit of a grudge purchase, to being probably an innovator and one of the key insights to business operations coming out of COVID.
Yeah. Fantastic. And obviously part of that, I guess you say that evolution and the change in perceptions of how security is seen in a business is also quite heavily linked with the cyber resilience aspect as well, and people looking to input systems which are not just securing the physical world around them, but also secure on their own back end as well. How do you see that cyber resilience part feeding into the physical space? Yeah,
so I mean, I think the change in stakeholders post-COVID, right? We came out of COVID, all of a sudden we had different departments trying to leverage on that physical security information, that data that was available. That kind of brought in other departments, specifically IT. Okay, and IT are now part of the buying process. They're a key stakeholder at the table when they're looking to select a physical security system, and that opens the question specifically from IT of that cyber resilience. Yeah. And it's also opened the question about that migration to cloud. How can they leverage on cloud-based solutions, SaaS solutions? Because within the IT back office world, cyber being one of the key drivers to product selection, it does mean that, when it's cloud-based, they have the ability to patch any vulnerabilities quite quickly. When they look at our sector, certainly with on-prem solutions, they're typically disconnected, and the question's asked, okay, well, how are you patching these? So it's certainly seen that convergence of IT moving into the physical security side, and that question of how regularly are your devices patched, and why are we not opening up our security systems to the outside world to allow that to be seamless. Fantastic. And if we're looking at how many of your users you might be engaging with are shifting towards a more of a unified, a data-driven model, what are there kind of particular factors you're seeing in some of your report findings recently which are driving that move? Obviously, having that, I guess you'd say, that pane of glass view, but also having potentially the knowledge that your security systems are driving more than just protecting your business, but actually giving you a view into different operations, efficiencies. What kind of factors do you see are driving that shift? So I think when you've got your typical siloed systems, so you've got your video management system, your access control system, even if we go to your BMS, okay, which is typically always been siloed from your physical security systems. There's an element of integration. Yeah. But what you don't get is that unified, that holistic single pane of glass view where you can pull on the data from each one of those systems easily to give you meaningful insights. Yeah. There's certainly been a drive over the last 3 years to look at a unified system, and obviously at Genetec, that's our bread and butter, that's what we do, to be able to bring the physical security disciplines together, to be able to provide the data that they need on a day-to-day basis, but also now start to leverage on IoT platforms, BMSs, to be able to then overlay that data alongside your physical security data, which just gives them more insights and brings more value, right? That's what people want. They want more value out of their systems. They want that business intelligence.
Fantastic. And just finally, you talk about that business intelligence piece. It's something which obviously Genetec prides itself on, and it's something you've built such a reputation for and given you that long-term status in the market. How do you value building those long-term partnerships with the industry? I mean, how important is it to be seen as a long-term vendor, and why do you see the market looking to companies like yourself to actually provide that long-term support as well?
Yeah, I mean, look, longevity is what we're here for, right? We're here to innovate. We're here to bring value to our customers. We work with partnerships, not just with end users, but also with our channel partners, with our technology partners. We're here to innovate and consistently bring that value. And Genetec, we don't stand still. So we're constantly looking at the global market. We're looking at trends. We're looking at AI, intelligent automation, how we can leverage on those tools, how we can leverage on the technology of tomorrow to bring that value to our customers. And that's why customers pick Genetec, right? Because they got a system which they invest good money in that they know will evolve and then continue to bring that value back.
Yeah. Nick, absolute pleasure. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, James.